Alrighty, bring us back to reality, because we were too lazy to animate this section. We're just kind of gonna go around and talk about what we thought the main message was of the of our project or of our meta-analysis, where we kind of just go through all these different philosophers. So I guess if I'll start, I think obviously the major message is kind of living authentically, living true to to yourself. But I think part of what we wanted to convey in this like meta-analysis is that doing that is actually very difficult. Not only are there societal pressures, but all of these people, all the philosophers, I should say, we're all very privileged, right? You think about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? Thoreau was a rich white guy living in like Massachusetts during like the era of slavery, right? This guy had like rich friends. He lived in a nice house, right? I think because of that, he was able to, I guess, worry about himself individually more than somebody who, than maybe one of his neighbors would, right? And they're going to worry about like, this year's harvest, for example, or like the weather, right? And I think Lao Tzu, he may or may not have existed, right? And Francis of Assisi, like, he was rich before, same as Thoreau, and he also didn't like fully leave society, and neither did Thoreau even. Like he lived in a shack near a pond, but as somebody who lives close by to that shack is like 5 minutes away from society, right? And like something you'll like know from living in Concord, where Thoreau lived, actually, is that he would like go into town like while he was like living in his shack, right? And presumably he would kind of conform to societal values then, right? So I think part of the message is also like humans are innately social, and therefore we're not always just going to be it's not really possible in practice to fully isolate yourself and live a like fully authentic life, and nor should you, I think. I guess lastly, just looking at the Milgram experiment, the subway experiment, I think that's interesting because, as we said in the analysis, right, the people who are actually asking people to give up their seats and breaking the social norms, right, actually had the most amount of anxiety in the experiment, right? Because they themselves were breaking the social norm and asking people to give up their seat on a subway, while also not like, indicating that they were, I guess, like physically unable to like stand, right? I think that illustrates like how difficult it is to break social norms while also being a part of society. Even like smaller social norms, right? Like asking for a seat on a bus or a subway, right? So you can imagine how hard it is to break larger, I guess, or like more significant social norms. So I think that gives us some insight into why these philosophers believed they had to, I guess, partially, or, and I guess in their mind, fully isolate themselves from society.